Do you want more money, success, your dreams coming true? What if I told you that it is less to do with how you're going to achieve them, but who you will achieve them with? Who, not how. Hi, I'm Dr. Kien Vu, triple board certified medical doctor and consultant to brands and organizations on peak performance and resilience. I work with hundreds of individuals and organizations, including Walgreens, Google, Bank of America, Whole Foods, on how to elevate peak performance and resilience within those organizations. Now, one of the key workshops I take people through is who. How do you build successful relationships? Because it's not how, but who, because there's somebody in your sphere that probably has the skill, that has the knowledge, that has the resources for you to execute on your success and your dreams. Just 10 years ago, I was an overweight doctor that was diabetic, had high blood pressure, was on several prescription medications, desiring to have a vision to help more people. And when I reversed my chronic diseases, I was thinking, how do I bring this to more people? How do I have the vision showing up on TV of working with the best organizations? And it was less on how I achieved them, but who came into my life to help put me on stages that actually gave me the strategies and tactics to move along. So knowing the who, cultivating the who in your life is gonna bring more success, more fulfillment, and a rapid acceleration to anything you wanna create in life. Now, we all have relationships in our life, but what makes relationships good versus make them great? Make them the type of relationships that will accelerate your dreams coming true. That's what I'm gonna share with you today. Now, in the business world, we all know about transactional relationships, right? Relationships where we feel like we're out just to get something. And those relationships tend not to last very long. Oftentimes, transactional relationships make other people feel used, like people are out just to know you, to get something out of you. Those aren't the type of relationships that will accelerate your dreams. You want to create and start nurturing these positive nurturing relationships. And there are basically 5 pillars to create relationships, to make a high performance team, to create a high performing, high accelerating dream coming true. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 of the most important traits for you to build these positive nurturing relationships that will accelerate your success and your dreams. The first thing is trust. In order for you to have a relationship that will help serve you is to create an environment of trust. And what are the elements of trust? There are 3 elements of trust, which is 1, safety, love, and connection. You know, think about your family, think about your friends. These are elements, the people that you trust the most. What is actually there? They are safe to share their dreams and aspirations with you. You feel deeply connected with them. You love the other person. So are these things that you can cultivate within yourself and keep them in mind as your intentions when you start building the relationships? Now, the next 2 traits are actually things that we can use to start cultivating and building trust. So the second pillar really is generosity. We can be generous with our time with other people. We can be generous with our advice. We can be generous with our time. We can be generous with our resources. We can be generous with money. Whoever you are, no matter how much you have in your bank account, you can be generous by helping somebody perform a task, by offering advice that you know. When you offer generosity, when you offer just to give, when you offer just to serve without expecting anything in return, you start building that element of trust. So think about yourself, go back and in your mind, ask yourself, who are you as a person? What are you so abundant and rich of? And I can guarantee you now, you are abundant and rich in everything. And I can guarantee you now, you are abundant in a lot of things. You are abundant with your gifts, the things that you are naturally good at. You probably have knowledge, you probably have skills with particular gifts. You also have potentially some time you could share with other people. You can probably share your presence with just listening with someone. When you are generous without the expectation of getting anything in return, that's a transactional relationship. You start to build that trust, and that trust brings you closer to the person you want to connect with. The third thing is vulnerability. We talked about that issue of safety earlier. Well, as human beings, we all have dreams, and we all have our struggles. So can we be vulnerable and share conversations where we ask people, what are you most excited about in the year? What do you dream about? How's your family? Can we share from our experience to be vulnerable. I often share the time that my daughter was in the ICU and I wasn't sure if she would be able to make it. She was born with her cord wrapped around her neck and ankle, and just holding her in my arms for the first time, not knowing whether or not she had any brain damage or suffered any health complications from being born that way, I was really given a sense of just how lucky each of us who are watching this video, who are connecting, who are breathing right now, is truly blessed and truly loved and truly is enough. I share that story because it's a human story and that connects us with people. So what are the type of things that you can share about yourself with the people you want to connect with? Let someone else know that you're also a human being. That also opens up the idea that they can be vulnerable with you. Look, as a leader, it's very easy to share our successes and our wins. And certainly if you're a leader and your team actually has a win, share that in front of a crowd. Validate their work. That's great. But you being able to share your struggles, that is something of a very important leader. You sharing your fears, you sharing what keeps you up at night. Not only is it sort of healing for you, but it allows other people to be safe around you, knowing that you are just so vulnerable that you're able to share your heart with them. So those are the three things. We've got trust as the very, very top, where people want to feel safe, loved, and connected. You can start to build that trust by one, being very generous without expecting anything in return, and then next, being vulnerable. The next two traits I'm going to share with you are basically two traits to create any type of high-performing relationship or team. Cool, if you're liking this video so far, if you're getting good value, make sure you like the video, you subscribe it, you share this with your friends and family members. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'm going to answer them and hopefully be able to connect more with you. Now, the next two traits I want to share with you are actually two traits for any high-performing relationship or team. The first is candor. Now, you could really only cultivate these true traits when you can nail down trust, because if people don't feel safe, if people don't feel loved, if they don't feel connected, they're not going to be able to execute on these two next traits, which is candor, being able to say what's on your mind, being able to tell the truth. Can I give you honest feedback from a place of love? Now, if they're feeling like their job is on the line, if they are feeling like they're being judged, they're going to close off and not be able to receive the impact. But from a place of safety, love, and connection, can you be open and honest and cultivate a relationship and a space so that you can be open and honest with the other person? This isn't just for relationships in business, but our personal relationships. Can we share how we think, how we feel about the other person? This is something that I've learned to cultivate in my romantic relationship with my fiance Tiffany. Being able to say that I was jealous, being able to say that I was triggered about something really opens up a dialogue for us to be able to move forward. In our businesses, in our teams, having that candor. How well did we do on our last task? What are things that I could do to improve and to focus on? Being able to say, I think that idea sucks. Or maybe you might not use the word suck, but I don't like that idea. People need to be able to feel safe, loved, and connected to tell you the truth. And being able to tell the truth is important for an ecosystem, for a team, for a family, for an organization to thrive. So that's candor. And just the last point about candor. It's one of those things that without candor, it's like a bubbling teapot. If you have a kettle on a fire, what it's going to do, if you're not able to express what's actually in your mind and body, is it's going to bubble. Then it's going to fizzle. Then it's going to steam and then make lots of noise. And that's what happens when we don't create an environment where people can be open to share what's on their mind, to get it out of their body. So really, really important things. And in fact, we actually create tools and techniques for any team to be able to develop each one of these tools and traits of trust, of generosity, of vulnerability, of candor. We have journal prompts, we have prompts and questions you could ask to deepen these relationships with the people in your life. If you want those resources, check it out with the links below or go to my website, kianvu.com. Now, the very last thing that is critical for any high-performance team or high-performance relationship is accountability. Can you hold the other person to account? And again, without trust, without feeling safe, without feeling connected, without feeling love from another person, which we build with generosity and vulnerability, it's very difficult for someone to be held accountable. You know, I used to go to a gym, and rest in peace, my beautiful trainer, Eric the Trainer Fleischman, but he was someone that I deeply respected, I deeply admired, I deeply knew that this person got my back. I didn't enjoy waking up in the morning to go to the gym, but this was someone, because I felt this way about him, I didn't want him to be let down. In fact, we worked out with a bunch of people, with a bunch of celebrities in Hollywood. I didn't want to let them down. So when you start to build trust and safety with other people, you could hold them to account, to the best versions of themselves, so that they could show up. And that's what we need to be able to do if we want high-performing relationships and high-performing teams, is being able to say, this is something you're committed to. We are committed to becoming the best versions of ourselves, and can we hold each other accountable? So that's a snapshot of the 5 pillars. Now, we work with organizations through workshops and keynotes to really drill these into people. You know, here's a really interesting stat. There are Americans in the workforce, and only 60% of those people feel like they have someone on their side, either in the workplace or in the relationships at home, that they feel like there's someone that has their back. Now, an interesting stat also is 50% of those people are married. So people aren't even developing these type of relationships that are most vulnerable, that are most close with them. This is how critical building these type of relationships are. This is something that I'm really proud to have helped hundreds of individuals and organizations through our keynotes, through our workshops, and building these high-performing teams. So if we could help out yourself or your organizations build these high-performing teams based on safety, love, and connection, to elevate the next dream, the next goal, the next successes of your organizations, please reach out with the links below or check out my website at kianvu.com. Remember always, you are your best medicine. So the 5 pillars of high-performing teams and relationship are: number 1, trust; 2, generosity; 3, vulnerability; 4, candor; and 5, accountability. These are the pillars that we walk individuals and organizations through, whether we're working with brands or Fortune 500 companies. These are the things, these are the relationships that will bring more success, more productivity, more engagement, and more prosperity to your values and mission of your organization. High-performing relationships don't just happen by chance. You don't just walk into a room and develop it. It has to be nurtured. And the good news is the skill can be learned. Can be learned very easily with the tools and the tactics that we've helped hundreds of individuals and organizations develop. So if you want to check out more, visit the links below or check out my website at kianvu.com.